We suck. We absolutely suck. I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to say right now. Terry Stotts right now might be the worst coach in the entire NBA. In the entire NBA, man. I am so sick and tired of Terry Stotts coaching my favorite team. I am so sick and tired of this dude being my goddamn head coach. I was optimistic before this game. You know, I get my reason. Okay, our schedule lightens up. It doesn't matter that our schedule lightens up. We're still going to lose to a team in the Cleveland Cavaliers who lost 5 straight games before this. And in all 5 of those games, they were down around 30 points. And they're on the second night of a back-to-back. Played on the road last night. Our schedule lightens up. I was optimistic. Does not matter. We are a bottom 5 team in the NBA. We suck right now. Time to start talking about draft prospects, honestly, man. There are a number of things. First off, we love our goddamn jump shots even when they're not falling. And Terry Stotts, even if they're not falling, oh, that's the shots we want. We just want jump shot after jump shot after jump shot. I tweeted out our shot chart in the second quarter. About 9 minutes into the second quarter, we had like 1 shot within 15 feet. 11 shots outside of 15 feet. During the first half, 78% of our shots came outside of 15 feet. And we couldn't score the ball. And what rim protection did they have? They had Tristan Thompson and Larry Nance as their centers. We can't get inside on those guys. The problem is we have one player that can consistently attack the rim. CJ McCollum sells for too many jump shots. It's not him. It's Damian Lillard, but Terry Stotts has already ran him into the ground, so we can't rely on him breaking down defenses, getting to the rim, and then making plays for others where maybe, Scalabissiere can get a dump-off pass. If we don't got Dame driving out of pick and roll or one-on-one to the rim, we cannot get to the rim. So then we settle for jump shots, but Terry Stotts thinks that's a good thing. At halftime, Terry Stotts was quoted saying, "We're getting the shots we want, we're just not hitting them." Well, work out an offensive system that gets players shots within 15 feet, where they don't have to use pick and roll to get there, or they don't have to go one-on-one to get there. Because, oh God, dude, our offensive system literally only gets us jump shots. That's all it does, is it gets us jump shots. And people blame, the roster. Oh, these guys just aren't hitting shots. Terry Stotts can't make them hit shots. Well, then why is all we getting is jump shots? I told you guys I was going to rant if we lost this game. Here's my rant. I'm pissed. I'm so frustrated, man. Just as a diehard fan, I'm so absolutely frustrated right now. I'm so tired of this coach, man. There's many more How many minutes did Anthony Tolliver play tonight? You realize how we couldn't get a rebound down the stretch and we couldn't stop Tristan Thompson inside? Why was that the case? That's because we played Anthony Tolliver 30 minutes at center. How many minutes did Scalabissiere play? 18 minutes. Scalabissiere was 4 for 5 from the field with 8 points. He also had no fouls. So fouls aren't an excuse, but Anthony Tolliver's playing 30 freaking minutes. I thought Terry learned, man. Nasir Little, 33 minutes. That's a guy who can rebound. He had 6 rebounds in 13 minutes. I don't know if I said 33. He had 6 rebounds in 13 minutes. That's a guy who can rebound. That's a guy who can crash the offensive boards, get us shots inside. That's a guy who plays with energy, which we were lacking. Or Scalabissiere is a center. Anthony Tolliver is not a center. We cannot survive with Anthony Tolliver in the game. I don't care that he was a +4 down the stretch. He wasn't a +4 because of him. Down the stretch, we got absolutely abused inside, abused on the boards, abused by Tristan freaking Thompson because we got a 6'6", 6'7" old washed up guy who can't get off the floor and can't rebound. Lost multiple rebounds out of bounds because he can't grab the ball. We got that guy playing 30 minutes at center. With a perfectly good center who killed it last game, who's 4 for 5, he's on the bench. He's only playing 18 minutes compared to that guy, compared to Tolliver. The same Scalabissiere who had 22 points last game. Why? Because Terry Stotts, man. That's your answer for everything. I mean, not everything. Not everything. I know the team's hurt, but that's an answer for a lot of problems right now, man. And I'm tired of the excuse, oh, you know what, we're injured. Look at their team. They were without Kevin Love. And when they had Kevin Love, they were getting beat by 30 to every team. Oh, dude, this is so ridiculous. This team is so bad. Terry Stotts needs to be fired. He needed to be fired after we lost that first round series against the Pelicans. We should have went out and got Mike Budenholzer. But nope. We have kept Terry Stotts way too long, and now, now we're paying the price. Why did Terry play Tolliver 30 minutes? Can a Stotts defender in this chat? We got 85 people in this chat. And then we got 90. We got 90 people watching the stream right now. Can somebody who's a Terry Stotts supporter tell me why Anthony Tolliver played 30 minutes tonight? I told you Whiteside wasn't the problem either. People talking about Whiteside being the problem. No, he's not the problem. But dude, this isn't a game we should have lost. Oh my God. Our offense is so ugly. Our offense is so ugly, man. We started making a comeback when we started hitting hero ball jump shots. When Anthony Simons hit a jump shot. He hit a couple. Dame started hitting jump shots. CJ hit a couple jump shots. But shooting those jump shots is what got us in the hole in the first place. If we had a more balanced attack, then we would have had a lead at halftime. We would have had to dig ourselves out of a hole. I know you guys want to see me rage, man. I know, Eugene David. It's all good, bro. I know it's probably more entertaining than that Blazer basketball was tonight. But yeah, look at our ball movement, look at our player movement, look at the way we run our offense, and try and tell me that Terry Stotts is a good NBA coach. Because certainly not a defensive coach. He's apparently an offensive genius, even though his teams are last in assists, or in the bottom 5 in assists for the past 5 years. And he relies on having possibly the most talented Blazer to ever put on a Blazer uniform on his roster and still bottom 5 in assists. Just rode that guy's back. Now that guy's back is hurting. Now he can't ride that guy's back like he has all season, playing in 39 minutes a game. And then when he can't ride that guy's back, we lose to the freaking Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, it's comical, man. It's comical. Most other organizations would fire Terry Stotts after this road trip. I don't think we're going to beat the Bulls. The Bulls are a better team than the Cavs. I don't see how we're going to beat the Bulls. So, probably lose to the Bulls, beat, 5-13? And, most organizations with our expectations would fire their head coach after that. But we're not going to. We're not going to do it. I don't know I don't know how long Terry Stotts is going to be here. But he's still freaking here. No, we don't play the Sixers again soon. Thank God. We'd probably lose by 60 Ink Double D. Plays Nas at the 5 if not Scow. Yeah, because Nas can rebound. Anthony Tolliver is not a good rebounder, man. Dude was getting abused on the boards down the stretch. And he had 7 rebounds, so was able to grab some rebounds, but dude's 34 years old. He's not built to play 30 minutes. You could tell. He was absolutely gassed at the end of that game, and he wasn't the best option to finish that game. I mean, there's many problems that you can point to, but also I want to talk about this. You know what's funny, man? We cut the lead to 5. We got to stop, right? No, we cut the lead to 5. There was a timeout from Cleveland. Then we got to stop, right? And we had a transition opportunity. Stotts calls a timeout. This is about 3 minutes left. It was right after a timeout. We get one stop, and then Stotts calls a timeout. Completely nixes our transition opportunity. And then what's the play out of the timeout? The guy who's 0 for 7 from 3, Carmelo Anthony, gets a 3-point shot. I think we score about only 10% of the time out of timeouts. I hope you guys are paying attention to how little we score out of timeouts, how many times we turn over the ball out of timeouts. We never get a good shot out of a timeout. Terry Stotts literally nixes our fast break opportunity, which we need. We're down 5 with time ticking, and sets up a play for the guy who's 0 for 7 to shoot a 3. But you know what? He'd defend that. He'd say, that's the shot we want. We got a solid shooter shooting a 3. I'm going to do some quick math here. I'm going to look at our shot chart. I'd say probably 75% of our shots came from 15 feet or further away. It's not good. That's not good. People will blame not having shooters. Well, if we don't have great shooters, then why is our head coach, why are we shooting so many damn threes, so many damn jump shots? Our defense is predicated on giving up the mid-range shot, but we shoot a ton of them. Like, it literally makes no sense. This head coach makes no sense, man. No ball movement, hero ball, no defensive versatility in terms of their schemes, too jumper happy, settles for jump shots. Dude, it's the same problems. The thing is, I previewed these problems before the season. But we were coming off the Western Conference Finals. I'm the crazy guy with the YouTube channel, right? That's how a lot of people on Twitter look at me. There's a certain section of Blazer fans, who just wants to hate on Stotts. So I tried not to be critical of Stotts going into the season, but I had absolutely no confidence in him before the season. I haven't had confidence in him in 5 years. Since he lost LaMarcus Aldridge, I haven't had confidence in him. Now, look at all these problems. Oh wait, It's almost like somebody saw them coming. Eric, you can hop on this stream if you want to. Let me know, bro, because I'm starting to lose my voice. Dave Gibson, at least I know your show will always be good if the Blazers aren't. Thank you. Make sure and like the video, guys, if you want to help Tori. Yeah, man, leave a like. Ink Double D, I think the issue is team chemistry. It doesn't seem very fluent. Well, when we had the same players year after year after year, we were still bottom 5 in assists. We still lacked ball movement. We still had no ball movement. All right, Eugene David, you're putting on timeout, bro. Don't sit there and say that, bro. We lost to the freaking Cavs. Can't take an L. We've lost what? Let me do the math here. We've lost 10 out of our last 12 games. I can't take an L. We've lost 10 out of our last 12 games. All we've been doing is taking L's. All we've been doing here is sitting here trying to be optimistic. What was my tone after last game? After 7 losses in 9 games. Oh, I'm looking. You know what? I think this is. We've already hit rock bottom. I think things are looking up. Our schedule lightens up. We face easier teams. I think this team will start playing better. I was optimistic as hell. What do you mean I can't take an L? I've taken 7 out of 9 L's out of the last 9 games before tonight. This is the first time I've ranted like this. Trying to tell me I can't take an L. No, wait, no. It was 9 out of 11 games. It was 9 out of 11 games before tonight. Trying to tell me I can't take an L, bro. Come on, man. Bro, don't be messing with me right now. Don't be toying with me right now, bro. I'm not in the mood for it, man. Trying to get me to rage, man. I'm already raging. You don't need to try right now. Hey, fun 50th anniversary season too. Really doing our history proud. But we are one of the worst coach teams in the league right now. I mean, we were getting clowned on national TV by Chris Webber against the Bucks for how much we lacked ball movement, how poor our offensive system was. It's not just me, man. National guys are realizing how badly coached this team is. You know what's funny, man? We lost. Stotts didn't like Jake Layman. I heard that from a guy who like knows his stuff in regards to the team. I heard that after Jake Layman got let go, and I 100% believe it. Last year, Stotts didn't like Jake Layman. And then in the video I made talking about how I didn't like the Mario Hezonja signing and I didn't like letting Jake Layman go, I talked about how Stotts didn't like him, and I joked about he probably moved too well off the ball. He probably cut too well. Well, I got heat for that. People, don't say that, man. Well, he was our best mover off the ball, our best cutter. When he cut, other guys on the court saw that, they started moving too. Now we have guys who stand around and watch, and we don't have an offensive system that gets guys moving in a productive way. We kind of just play ring around the rosy around the three-point line. And we shoot a bunch of threes. And if they don't fall, we got good jump shots, man. The jump shots just weren't falling. We just got to start making jump shots. Terry Stotts, you realize there's more to an offense than jump shots. You realize you can maybe get layups, maybe get dunks, maybe get guys cutting through the lane, maybe set guys a back screen, maybe set a cross screen for a post, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Your offense is literally just jump shots. And dude, it's ridiculous. Reed Newcomer should have kept the team together from last year. I think we would have the same record if we had the team from last year. The thing is, we could only keep one of Hood, Curry, and Kanter. But we'd be in the same boat right now because these are problems that have hampered the team for years. Maybe we'd be 7-10, 6-11, something like that. But yeah, at this point, fine. Let's keep losing. Let's get a great draft pick. Let's fire Terry Stotts. That's the silver lining, I guess. Check the Stotts postgame on Twitter. All right, I'll check the Stotts postgame on Twitter. Did you tweet it at me? Okay, yeah, I see it. All right, I'll play it out loud for you guys. I got to close out of my stream because I got my stream up on my phone. So okay, I paused my stream. Let's listen to this.
Didn't shoot the ball very well in the first half and didn't defend as well as we needed to in the
second half. So maybe don't shoot so many jump shots, Terry.
Game obviously it didn't look 100%. Tried to come on strong late in the fourth. What do you think of his return?
I don't know how much he was laboring. Obviously, he didn't have the same pop, but all said and done, I thought it was a good effort.
Now, why is Dame laboring? Because you were playing him 39 minutes per game, saying it wasn't a problem because of the studies you did.
Another night of getting out rebounded. How do you explain the margin on the boards?
I can't.
Explain the margin on the boards. You refused to play Tolliver less than 30 minutes per game when Whiteside's hurt.
How would you explain where you guys are at, or describe where you guys are at in your season? Look at the record. That kind of explains it.
Yeah, we suck. It's the first right thing you said this conference.
Early, I think it was your first time out. You guys came out, and I think you made pick and roll with Carmelo, and I think it was 2 straight possessions you did that. One, did you think that was effective, and why didn't you go back to it? They changed the matchup, for one. They put Tristan Thompson on him, who defended pick and roll a little bit better. They didn't switch it. When those 2 possessions, they switched, and we were able to take advantage of it. The reality is we did go back to it. Carmelo was in a lot of pick and rolls tonight.
Yeah, that's all we do is run pick and roll.
I know you always like to watch film, but what is kind of your message going to be tomorrow to this team? Haven't decided yet. Okay, thanks, Coach. Thank you.
Insightful. That's our head coach, man. That was Terry Stott's post-game press conference. Okay, I accidentally played it with my volume on. I don't know. Okay, here we go. We got Eric on the line. Let me set this up. I got to plug in my headphones. Where are my headphones? Eric, I'm going to mute you while I find my headphones. Oh. All right, found them. Alrighty, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
You were right that I should not be optimistic about this team.
Yeah, it's not looking good, man. Real quick, so someone in chat just said it was Eric Bouchard. He just said, I don't like Tolliver more than anyone else, but let's be real, Scal ain't saving the rebounding. Well, I talked about this the other day. Like, why not play Little at the 3 and go with a bigger lineup then, especially if you're going to play Tolliver at center, then make the rest of your lineup bigger with a guy who actually rebounds at the small forward. There's no reason why we can't just play Tolliver at center and then play small guys the rest of the lineup. Like, you could put two bigger guys in at the forward spots. Like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but nah, Mr. Little, you can only play 13 minutes tonight.
13 minutes.
We can't rebound, but no, he's only going to play 13 minutes. Excuse the fact that he had 6 rebounds. So he's getting a rebound every 2 minutes. If he played 30 minutes, like Tolliver did, he'd have like 15 rebounds. But no, let's only play him 13 minutes. Let's play Bazemore. Bazemore only played 12 minutes. Wow. They really did not play the bench tonight. But, I mean, shoot, man. I mean, Bazemore isn't doing jack shit. Bazemore isn't doing anything, man. Give Little his small forward minutes, and we could at least rebound the ball.
Or at least give Trent a shot if you're not going to do anything. Like, at least could shoot.
And at least Nasir Little isn't going to shoot freaking fadeaway threes in the corner with 20 on the shot clock running full speed like Kent Bazemore will. You know what shot I'm talking about?
Yep.
The one in like the near side quarter.
Well, he just made a free throw, so he was feeling it.
Chat, do you guys know what shot I'm talking about? That shot by Bazemore was one of the worst shots I've seen all season. Dude's a 32% 3-point shooter, and he's shooting fadeaway threes running into him at full speed with 20 on the shot clock. Like, that's ridiculous. Know who you are, man. Kent Bazemore has been one of the biggest letdowns this season. I was expecting that dude to be a good contributor off the bench. That dude has sucked. That dude has been awful. And honestly, a lot of it is just due to what he's deciding to do. It's not due to talent. It's not due to, I don't know, like, he's not a great shooter, but he's also like compounding that by shooting a bunch of awful, crappy threes.
Right.
It's ridiculous, man. This team is like a chicken running around with its head cut off.
Yeah, if he just played within himself and didn't try to force shots, he'd be fine. But he's just like going at it like he's Damer CJ, and he's not. Those guys. It's so frustrating. And then the other frustrating thing is, like, how many times in a row are they going to get a dunk or a lay-in off a pick and roll between Thompson or Larry Nance, where they just roll wide open to the basket and all they have to do is dump it off to him? Like, change something up. It's not working. Like, it happened like 10 times in a row.
Where's the help side rotation? Why can we literally not figure out help side rotations? People were talking about, oh, it's just chemistry. It's just, this is the start of the season. It's just one game. Help side rotations are the same across basketball. You know what I mean? Help side rotations, like, it shouldn't be something that it's not like figuring out a system and figuring out how to play with guys offensively. Help side rotations are pretty much the same throughout multiple organizations, but yet, like, our guards, they don't know how to help off the backside, and I think that's due to coaching. This team has consistently sucked with help side rotations. That's why we play that drop big scheme, so that the big can stay around the rim, guarding the pick. Even if they set a pick and roll on the 3-point line, even if somebody like Steph Curry in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals last year, the big still wants to sag and let that guy get space and get going, and that big guy sags because if he played up more, then we have nights like tonight where they throw lobs to Thompson because Terry Stotts can't figure out how to get his guys to rotate on the backside. But that's been a problem in past years. So I don't want to hear a chemistry thing. I don't want to hear about, they miss Mo and Chief and all that, because they had the same problems in past years. That's why they sagged the big. And then we saw it in the Western Conference Finals. Once Golden State figured out our hedging, trapping defense, they started picking apart our backside rotations because our backside rotations absolutely suck. It's been a common theme in Terry Stotts' tenure here, man. Yeah.
And two, like what teams do to Dame, they trap him right away at the point of the pick, right? So he doesn't have that angle to throw to the big a lot of times, and if he does, it gets deflected or things like that. What we do is we allow their guard to come across the pick before we double him. That way he's already going downhill towards the rim, and all he has to do is either lob it or dump it off for a lay-in, where if you trapped him right away or didn't sag the big, it would make that pass a lot harder at least. There should still be rotation on the backside, but at the very least you get a couple steals in those situations. But it drives me crazy that we just do the same thing every time. Like, mix it up. Sometimes trap, sometimes don't. Like you've got to try to throw him off guard somehow, but...
Stotts doesn't mix it up, though, man. Stotts doesn't adjust. Dude doesn't adjust, and it's been fine in the past because we've had, like, the talent to kind of offset his deficiencies as a coach. Now we're missing Nurkic. Now we don't have, like, good wing defenders, you know what I mean? Now we haven't had the same guys we've been playing with for the past 4 years. So people keep talking about chemistry, but a lot of other teams that have had a bunch of new players, they're playing with chemistry now. Why aren't we? Oh, it's a deeper problem than that. So I don't know, man. I'm so absolutely frustrated. I guess it's time to start looking forward to the draft. I guess it's time to start looking forward to maybe the fact that Stotts might get fired. I'm hoping the national media starts bashing him because he deserves it. We saw it a couple nights ago with Chris Webber on TNT. So I mean it's ridiculous, dude. It's just, I don't know how you can defend Stotts at this point.
There were multiple possessions on defense again where they got an open three just because no one knew who they were guarding. Like, I don't understand why that keeps happening. It's like simple. Like, one of the first things you learn in basketball is to, like, go get your guy when you go back on defense, right? It's like there was times where, like, two people would run. There was Dame shot a free throw, and they went back on defense, and him and Anthony both went to the same guy, and then they just swung it around to Deladova because he wasn't being guarded by anyone. And then, like, Dame was like, "Oh crap, that's my guy," and, like, ran all the way across the court, but it was too late.
It's like how are you so bad communicating defensively?
Right, and that's not getting to know each other. I mean, that's just, like, simple basketball stuff. Like, you're not even thinking about who you're guarding, like, during the game. Like, I don't even know how that's possible. That feels like to me, like when I play with like scrubs at the gym that don't know how to play basketball, and you have to tell them like every time down the court, no, get him, get him, get him. Like that shouldn't happen in the NBA game.
I know. I know, man. That would piss me off if I'm on the floor. The thing is, when I play rec ball, man, I communicate well. Yeah. I communicate loud. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'd be one of the best defensive communicators on this Blazer team right now, man. It's, I don't know. The thing is like they suck at the basics defensively, and it's basics that, like, I could tell they suck because, like, I played ball myself, you know. College ball, I learned like a lot just with like how to rotate defensively, how to scramble, how to like effectively communicate. And ever since then, I've watched this team because they've like struggled with it before, and I see things now. With the lack of communication and them not rotating right and them not scrambling right, and it's just like, oh my god, man. Because if that happened at the community college I played at the JC I played at, it would people would get benched for that. But this is the NBA, you know. These guys are professionals being paid millions to make high school, college level mistakes. Leaving Jordan Clarkson, the one guy who we really had to guard. We got mixed up on him multiple times, dude. Like, I don't know why we had Anthony on him. Anthony struggled tonight defensively. A lot of it was lack of communication, but he's the one guy who's hot. Why do we have Anthony on him? Like, they weren't even big. They had like 4 guys Anthony could have guarded and been fine. Or they had 3 other guys other than Clarkson that Anthony could have guarded and been fine. And we put him on Jordan Clarkson, who got hot, and Anthony got mixed up.
To your point about the college and high school thing too, like if you had that happen to you several times in a game, you would get clowned in film session. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you didn't want that on you. Like, you would do everything in the game not to have that happen to where you'd be called out on a film session, right? Like, I don't even know if these guys watch film. That's how bad it is. Like, seriously. Yeah. Like, I mean, I know that's being, like, completely over-exaggerating the situation.
Just made progress all season long. Every time we hear, it's just one game, all these, you know, Stotts defenders, self-righteous people like, Blazer fans, you overreacting, it's just one game. Now those guys are starting to overreact. I'm just sitting here, like, kind of laughing inside. Like, I'm kind of pissed, but I'm kind of laughing at these guys like, oh, that's just one game now, huh? Like,
so realistically, they're not going to fire Stotts. I don't think. I still don't think it's.
I don't think they will either, which is sad.
I still don't even think it's an option.
I will celebrate the day that he gets fired.
So I was thinking about how we could. Is there any way we can charge him with like aggravated assault for what he's doing to Dame right now? Like, then we could void his contract because he got arrested, or.
I know, man, for real, dude. Like forcing. Oh, God. Dame's back started hurting because he was carrying the team on his back too much. Imagine if Dame didn't play like an absolute god the first 10 games. We might only have 2 or 3 wins right now.
Yeah. I mean, he scored 60 and we lost the game. He scored 60 points and we lost, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why I asked Quick on Twitter, I think you saw it.
Yeah, I did.
I want him to ask Stotts why, when Dame obviously is laboring up and down the court, why you play him in 12-minute stretches. And I know there's some things when you're injured, like when you play at the beginning of a quarter or like after halftime, it's good because you're warmed up. But the dude should not be playing 12 minutes stretches at a time right now. He's gonna get hurt even worse, like what happened with Nurk last year. You know. You just can't risk those things. I don't understand why he can't just be like, okay, let's try subbing Dame out first and then bringing him back in with the second unit every once in a while. Why does it always have to be the same thing? And the first half, he had Dame, CJ Mello, and Hood all on the freaking bench while the Cavs, like, we couldn't score on the freaking Cavs second unit for like 5 minutes. Yeah. And he had all those guys on the bench. Like, why not stagger one of those 4 guys? You have 4 ISO scorers and you run a second unit with no ISO scorers in it. I'm fine with them all starting, but you need to like stagger how they substitute out.
I know, especially when your system requires players to score in isolation to be at least somewhat effective, or it requires players to hit a bunch of like tough threes, tough jump shots. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I wish we would go in isolation less, but when we have to because of the way we're coached, at least stagger your isolation scores. You're 100% right on that. It's ridiculous. His rotations in general have been absolutely ridiculous this year, and it never really was a complaint about mine. Like, I wasn't a Stotts fan in years past, but at least his rotations made some sort of sense. His rotations this year make literally no sense. Like, I literally don't think he could do a worse job without blatantly tanking.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. Like, yeah, he could play Dame 12 minutes and play Moses Brown 36 minutes. Like, that'd be blatant, tanking, blatant. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he could do a worse job of setting up his lineup, setting up his rotations without blatantly showing that he's not trying to win games. Like, it just the way he uses Dame, playing Dame the whole first quarter, where the last 3 minutes Dame usually isn't super effective because he's a bit gassed, because playing 12 minutes in a row in the NBA is hard, especially when you're doing as much as Dame is. You could literally play him the first 9 minutes of a half and the last 9 minutes of a half, and he'd be fine, which is what he used to do. And nope, you gotta. God, it literally makes no sense, man. It's
because he played the whole third quarter, and then he came back with like 7:58 left in the fourth quarter. So he only sat out 4 minutes in the second half when he could barely move. Like,
yep.
I know he's trying to do, they're desperate for a win, but like it's not like we're killing with Dame on the court either, right? So like, if he's going berserk, I understand keeping him in there if he's hot, like, absolutely. But like, on nights when he's struggling or not even doing anything and he can't even barely run up and down the court, like, what is he not seeing? And you're right about the tanking thing. Like, it would be almost excusable if like it was obvious he was tanking, but like, he's not tanking, and that's the problem. He's actually coaching as hard as he can, and that's a big issue. I don't get it.
I mean, if we really try to tank, then yeah, let's keep Stotts the whole season. Honestly, like, if we're really trying to get a good draft pick, then keep Terry Stotts. Honestly, because right now he's doing a good job of helping us lose games. So
the only problem with that is, like, in a tanking season, you'd want to develop, like, you'd want to give Little more than 13 minutes. You'd want to.
So you're telling me he's not good for anything?
You'd want to showcase Trent to see if he could get any trade value or if he's a useful player. You wouldn't want to play Tolliver and Bazemore and stuff at all, but like, I mean, I guess you could win games if you play a little more, right? So that might be bad. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just so tired of the damn excuses from the Stotts defenders, though. Like, cause yeah, I'm just kind of reading stuff right now, and it's it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. I'm tired of the excuses from people for, yeah, I don't know, but I don't even know. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to say at this point. It's depressing, like, and it sucks, man, because like, my channel's success kind of rides on the team doing well, so it's like also like doubly it's doubly frustrating just because, like, you know, covering the team, man. Like, it's we do got 110, you know, supporters in here. Maybe they're not all supporters, but we do got 110 people in here, you know, so that's cool. But like, it's I don't know, it's tough. It's tough to like try and make content about this team. Like, post-game live streams are easy. Even when they lose, I go on here and I'll rant, I'll vent, I'll get it all out. But like, videos and stuff, like, I don't want to think about this team right now. Like,
well, it's like in the first half, I wrote down a bunch of stuff, like breaking down what I was seeing, but like, it doesn't even seem to matter, you know? Like, what's the point of even discussing it? Like, it just, yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what. So what do you think Olshey should do? What do you think should be like the course of action?
Well, like I said, he's kind of stuck with Stotts because he was the one who argued to give him an extension this summer. And I don't think that conversation will go over well eating $20 million that we still owe him after this season, considering we have how high our payroll is.
Should have never extended him, man.
So the problem is, you know, we extended Dame, CJ, Stotts, and Olshey all this summer. I mean, Dame, of course, like, you can't really argue that. CJ made it so he can't be traded right now, basically. And then
Let me just say, D-Dog, I'm not saying Olshay's the problem. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
probably, Jody's not going to accept firing Stotts. So, like, what does Olshay do? Like, how do you build this team? This team is so bad. Like, do you not make a win-now move, or do you make a win-now move right now, or do you be patient? Like, he's in a very tough spot.
Because, like, anything he does really is kind of an indictment on what he did this summer. So, like, unless he makes a big move for, like, a Blake Griffin or someone like that, where it's, like, an obvious, this is going to help us both this year and for the next couple years, like, he can't really justify that. I mean, it's kind of tough, too, because you have to wait till December 15th before, like, 40% of the league is eligible to even be traded. I would love to see a move right now with, like, Bazemore or something like that, but is it better to wait and get possibly a better trade, or do you just need to make a move and get something different?
Yeah.
I thought Melo might be that move, but
honestly, honestly, at this point, I'm starting to consider, like, I mean, the Hornets aren't doing terrible. I'm starting to consider maybe the possibility of taking on a bad contract for our expiring contracts and trying to get picks. And then maybe those assets that we get, maybe we could get the Hornets pick because let me see the record right now. I mean, I assume they're going to start losing. I don't think they'd trade a pick to shed Batum, but maybe we could get the right to swap, like, if their pick is outside the top, whatever. You know what I mean? Because Michael Jordan is notoriously cheap as their owner. I don't know. But, like, I'd take on bad contracts that have, like, 2 years left on them compared to one, because I don't know if we are going to make a win-now move right now or even this season. And if we can take on bad, Gorgie Jang, because the Timberwolves are good. Timberwolves might make the playoffs. I think the Timberwolves have a better chance of making the playoffs than us right now. So that could be a pick we could get for Gorgie Jang's contract, since they want to clear up cap space this summer, and if they could get a guy like Whiteside to be their backup center and maybe play with Towns a little bit, maybe they'd give up their pick, and then we'd have those contracts next offseason in order to try and, then they'd be expiring. Maybe we could make a move. Maybe we could move them for something, and we'd have additional assets. I don't even know what Olshey can do right now to make this better. We're that's the thing. If we don't trade these expiring contracts for, like, upgrades, we lose them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, sure, we could re-sign them, but they're not going to be, like, valuable contracts in terms of helping us acquire a big salary player. Like, Bazemore and Whiteside aren't going to get more than, like, $15 million a year. Bazemore's probably going to get $5 million a year. Whiteside's probably going to get a little less than 10. Like, we're not going to have these are big expiring contracts to help us land a star next season. So it's like we're in a very tough spot because, like, we kind of got to use them if we want to try and win now. But, like, do you really risk, losing your pick for a Blake Griffin? And then what if we don't make the playoffs?
Well, the problem is, like, this team is just, they're better than they're playing. Like, they have talent on this roster. Like, so, like, they could figure it out and go on a run, and like you've mentioned several times, there's easy stretches in their schedule. It's hard to be optimistic, but, like, they're just in a complete funk right now, and it just seems like a mess. But, like, the problem is, even if you try tanking, there's a chance, like, Stotts and Dame and those guys aren't going to give up on the season ever, so there's a chance they could hang in that spot where it's not high enough to get a good pick and not good enough to make the playoffs. So making a move might, like, at least you went for it, you know?
Yeah.
But you could always have protections on the pick just in case. But
yeah,
it'd almost be better if Blake Griffin got hurt right now and was out for the rest of the year, and then we traded for him just for an expiring contract or something. Like, Whiteside and Tolliver and, like, whatever filler it took to do that, and then just run it next year with him healthy or whatever. Same with, like, a guy like Otto Porter right now who's hurt. Like, technically it would be a good move to get him, but he's also hurt, so, like, you kind of help your tank too. Like, but yeah, I don't know. Like, we can't trade CJ, so you can't really do anything there. But yeah, I feel like we just need like some more body. I don't know what they're doing with that extra roster spot. Like a guy like Joakim Noah could help us right now, at least on the defensive end and the rebounding.
He would be a much better option to play 30 minutes than Anthony Tolliver. I know that.
Right. So like, I mean, that's all you'd have to do to fix a good portion of our problem right now is sign a guy like that for a minimum contract. And like, yeah, so it's just frustrating. Like, I would love to trade Bazemore for like that same Charlotte scenario, only for like Marvin Williams and Hernan Gomez or something, and just get like a center back that could actually play some minutes instead of Tolliver, you know?
Yeah. I'm so sick of Anthony Tolliver playing 30 minutes, man. We need Whiteside back, and we need Tolliver out of the rotation. The thing is, Nasir Little might be the one to fall out of the rotation. Why is he only playing 13 minutes with Tolliver playing 30? I don't understand, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, it's the same problems. I was looking at, like, field goals. We had we had 2 more field goals than them. 3-point shots. We had 4 more makes than them. Free throws. We had 14 less. We had 16 less attempts. And that's because of the type of offense we play.
Right.
Sure, we didn't get a couple calls here or there, but it's because we settle for jumpers, we don't attack. Cleveland attacked us. We had Anthony Tolliver as our center. If Anthony Tolliver was the other team's starting center, do you think we would have attacked him? No. We wouldn't have played any different. That's the thing. If you switch the coaches, if John Beilein, the guy who was in college last year, he was a great college coach, but if we switch coaches with Cleveland this season, we would have won this game by like 25 points. I'm 100% confident about that.
Yeah, like there were several times in the first half they did actually go to this once in the second half, and Scal got an easy lay-in. Mm-hmm. But there were several times where Scal set a pick and the guard switched on to Scal, and like Tristan Thompson or someone would switch on to CJ, and instead of just like Scal had good seal position, we could have just dumped it in for a lay-in, but instead, you know, he gets waved off and the guard goes one-on-one and takes a contested shot with a pretty good perimeter defending big man in his face, you know, and like that offense is just such crap. Like, you know what's funny too though is Cleveland's actually constructed a lot like us in a way. Right. Sexton, Garland, they kind of want to replicate what we have with Dame and CJ. The thing is, those guys pass even less than Dame and CJ. And those guys are smaller. And those guys are worse. They're just worse all around. But they can attack, you know what I mean? They're able to get them going downhill a little bit. But Tristan Thompson is a kind of like Whiteside in a way. Like Whiteside in a way. He reminds me a bit of Whiteside. Shetty Osman is a guy who shoots a lot of threes. He's kind of like a less efficient Rodney Hood in a way. He's a little better passer. He did have 12 rebounds, 5 assists tonight, but like, and then they have a guard off the bench who can score in Clarkson, who's like a more polished version of like, maybe you could compare him to Anthony Simons, but like their team makeup is a lot like ours, but they attacked. You know what I mean? They attacked us. Like, why can't we attack other teams the way that teams attack us? It's ridiculous, man. That's the thing with Terry Stotts is like he relies on CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard isolating and running pick and roll to attack opposing defenses and get anything other than a jump shot. That's a problem, and that was a problem tonight, and that's why when we couldn't buy a jump shot during the second quarter, even the first quarter, we weren't hitting jump shots, but we still keep shooting them, and Stotts thinks they're good shots that we need to keep shooting. It's a philosophical problem. It's a philosophical flaw with Terry Stotts' coaching as the head coach of this team that he'll never get over. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way he looks at the game. He's not looking at it like, okay, maybe we need to attack them. Maybe we need to get to the free throw line to maybe get guys going. Maybe we need to, try and get layups, or, put the pressure on their defense. No, we're going to keep shooting threes. Even if we can't buy them, even if they're contested, even if they're not good threes, he's going to look at that, oh, we just got to make them. You see, like, the difference here? Hopefully chat sees the difference here. And you made this point several games this year. Rodney Hood, 5 of 8 from the field, only getting 8 shots. Like, what?
Our most efficient player. We don't run sets for him.
why not get him involved in the offense? Run him off screens and get him open shots. Get him down in the post more often. It should be at least 10 times a game, maybe, if the way he's shooting right now. And then you got Carmelo, who's 0 for 8 from 3, but was 5 of 7 and was actually really strong, like attacking the rim when he did that. But instead, we're running plays to get him off the pop and open threes instead of going to the basket. It's like he's a pretty he can finish in traffic and like with contact.
Yeah, he could abuse Shetty Osman, man. That's the thing. It's like we got guys that can score inside, that can get their shot off inside, scoring through isolation, but also like if they're being used as movers off the ball, can finish well attacking the rim, especially Rodney Hood. We don't cut. We don't ever cut anymore. We literally do not cut. That's where we miss Jake Layman a lot. Who knows if we could have found him on these cuts, but at least he would have cut, and at least he kind of sparked off ball movement. It's so ridiculous. It's so obviously flawed, man.
And a player like Layman who gets a lot of dunks or like backdoor lobs and stuff like that, those are like easy buckets that we're not getting at all. Like we don't get any of those right now. So like we need someone who can get like a couple easy buckets a game, and like that's the difference between winning some of these games and losing some of them. Is just a couple easy baskets when your offense isn't working.
It's the same problems game after game after game. I mean, we still got 3 winnable games coming up. But what do you think our record is the next 3 games? We got at Chicago, at home versus OKC, then at home versus Chicago. What do you think our record is?
I think we get 2 out of 3 probably. But
that still seems optimistic to me. That would be such a weird feeling to win 2 out of 3 games.
I know.
That hasn't happened since Dallas and what? So that hasn't happened since a month ago. We've won 2 games of the year. We've won 2 games since our last. Remember when we played OKC? Remember how long ago that was?
Yeah.
We've only won 2 games since then. And it was Atlanta in overtime. We took overtime, and it was San Antonio where we were down 15 points with 8 minutes left. Yeah. Like we barely won those games. We
barely beat OKC too. We barely beat Dallas.
Dude, yeah. I mean, we barely lost games too, so I can't really play that game. But it's not. It's just thinking about it, man. I don't know. I think we go 1-2. I think we go 1-2. I'm not being optimistic anymore. 1-2 would put us at 6-14. We'd be losing touch, man. 6-14. If we go 2-1 and be 7-13, then I guess that's whatever. If we can win all 3 and be 8-12, then I'd. If we could be 8-12 and win the next 3 games, then I guess I'd be a little bit optimistic. But that would mean we're not playing like this. You know what I mean? So it's not just based off results; it's based off how we're playing. And tonight we played horrible and just a horrible brand of basketball. And that's the thing. That's why I'm not going to get excited when we start hitting jump shots or moving the ball well, because we've seen it for a quarter and then we regress and we can't play a consistent brand of basketball. Like, what is our brand of basketball? It's isolation and shooting a lot of tough contested jump shots, and that's what we're going to keep doing under Terry Stotts. So we got the guy that fits that too, Carmelo Anthony. It's going to be even worse now. So that's just kind of the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is the Spurs suck and the Hawks suck. Like those teams those weren't good wins at all.
No, especially since Atlanta didn't have John Collins either.
We have 1 good win this season. Yeah,
and we tried to blow that game too.
It's just crazy how we go from literally Western Conference Finals to this.
The most frustrating part too is the Warriors are even sweeping us when it comes to tanking. They tank better than us too. Like,
hey, we're trying to beat them. I mean, we're trying to beat them in terms of tanking. We lost.
But we get swept by them. Like, how many 3 out of the last 4 years or whatever? Yeah. Out of the playoffs, and then we're finally doing bad. Let's tank, get a good draft pick. Nope, there they are, better than tanking than us too.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, shoot, man, maybe we get the number 1 pick. Maybe that's how this all ends. Because right now, let's look at our record compared to the rest of the league. Let's look at the tank race. We are 4th worst right now, which means we'd have tied.
Man, you could have paid me $1 million. I would not have bet that we'd be talking about looking up the tank race after 17 games into the season.
5-12, dude. 5-12. I mean, we're literally only 2 games back of the worst record in the league.
We're in 4th right now.
We're half a game back behind Atlanta and New York, tied for 2nd worst record in the league. So I mean, I'd take 14% odds at number 1 pick.
The new lottery stuff is gonna either be really good for us or really bad for us, because we don't have to be the bottom 3 teams anymore to move up, since it's the first top 5, right, that it picks now.
Yeah.
But you could also tank the season and have the worst record and then get pick 6 because of that. So that's the downside of tanking, is it's not guaranteed to have a top 4 pick like it was 2 years ago or beyond. So yeah, it's cool that we're in the race, I guess. It's a silver lining, but it is also kind of fun to do the lottery simulations and see what happens. I just did one.
Literally the only silver lining to this right now.
We got the number 2 pick according to the lottery. I just did.
Yeah. You just did it. I'll do it too. Tankathon.com, you can simulate the lottery, and you can pretend that the Blazers get the number 1 pick, and you can maybe feel better about yourself for half a second. Thoughts on the rumors for the next upcoming season for rule changes? We'll cover that in our Monday podcast. That's a good thing to cover in our Monday podcast.
Real quick too. So we're just joking around about tanking. This team.
Yeah, I hope people know that by now.
This team is not going to actually tank, because it's impossible players don't tank, and when you have this much talent on your roster, there's no way Dame's going to be okay, I'll just sit out all these games or whatever. So it would take an actual injury to Dame, which we don't want, to actually tank this season. I know he is hurt technically right now, but back spasms aren't going to keep him out.
It's a little bit of it's a little bit of dry humor to try and make ourselves feel better right now, because I just did a simulation. We got 6th. We lost 2 spots. That sucks.
Dang it.
See, if that happened after a horrible season, that would be tragic. I'm gonna sim it again. Okay, we got 1st. Right. It says right now we'd have a 12.5% chance at 1st overall and 48% chance at the top 4. Thing is, if we got 6, we could get Avdija, so I guess it wouldn't be horrible. I don't know.
Yeah, there's years obviously the Odin Durant one, where if we would have gotten 2nd instead of 1st, that might have worked out better. But so maybe there's still some silver lining in that. But
James Wiseman would be hella nice though.
Yeah,
that would be our AD, bro.
The year Doncic was fell to 3, man, those 2 teams above him are probably kicking themselves right now.
The Ducks lost tonight? I wasn't paying any attention to that.
Yep. Is it final?
I'm not sure. I just saw something on Twitter. I don't know. I'm not sorry if you were DVRing it or something.
I don't care about the Ducks.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I'm DVRing the Beaver game.
Oh yeah, you're a Beaver fan. Wow, that's rough for people. That's a double whammy. Yeah. So I don't know. What content do you guys want the most with how bad this team is playing? What do you guys want to watch? Because it's gonna be tough for me to get motivated to do videos, but I will have enough motivation to do videos if I know it's something you guys want to watch. The live stuff's easy. The videos, it takes some some work. I'll have that mailbag coming tomorrow. I didn't do it today because we had the game at 5, and I figured I wouldn't be able to get it up soon enough before the game, and we don't have anything tomorrow, so figured it was a good day to release the mailbag because I know I've put that on. But trades, 2K rebuilds, 2K, yeah.
So, Tori and I kind of talked about this the other night after our podcast. So I was going to take over the Trade Talk Tuesdays.
Well, not necessarily. Like we could combine. I was thinking we could combine on that. Thinking we could combine and do that together. Since you're like a CBA guy, you're a smart guy. Like we could, I don't know, but also like I don't know. We'll figure that out. I do want to do trade stuff. We could even do our own trade. Like we could do separate trade videos. I don't know. I mean, like literally, that's what people want to see the most. That's why I know. So I mean, I don't.
But on the community tab, if you guys want to like give us your trade suggestions, so we can talk about those for that video, that'd be great.
Yeah, 2K simulation. I can do that. For sure. Let me see. I like the post-game videos. Yeah, post-game videos aren't going anywhere because I'll either need somewhere to celebrate or vent. Right now, it's a lot of venting, sadly.
Yeah.
So
Austin Wax says this is the time to fire Stotts. All new players, they don't know the plays. Would be the time to get a new coach. But yeah, we just extended Terry. Like they're not going to eat all that money and fire him right now. And I truly believe they all think he's a good coach too. So it's not, it's not going to happen. I'm not. Like I saw some people saying like they guaranteed Stotts would be fired after this game, but like that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'll probably come out with a video. I haven't really released like a standalone video about Terry Stotts, but I'll probably release a video saying Terry Stotts needs to be fired, but he won't, based on that logic. Make sure you guys blow that up, man, because that would I don't know. If you guys like leave a bunch of thumbs up on a video, that's how I can know that you guys like that type of video, and I can maybe talk about other coaches, that type of thing. I don't know, man. I mean, we got another game in 2 days. Then another game 2 days after that.
Man, is it technically you can trade a coach? People are asking.
But doesn't the coach have to approve that?
Yeah, the coach would have to approve.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
And there'd have to be a team with an open spot. I don't know of any teams that would be. I guess if Fizdale gets fired in New York, you could trade Stotts for a second-round pick, get out of his contract.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want Fizdale. Fizdale has like all the same problems that Stotts has.
No, I'm not saying trade coaches. I'm saying just trade Stotts to New York for a second-round pick. Like you don't have to.
Oh yeah, just to get out from underneath his salary. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that would be the only way we could do it without having to pay him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't. That's just wishful thinking. I doubt any team would. But I mean, he'd be good in a situation like that where.
For sure.
It's a rebuilding situation.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, and you guys can tweet at me. My Twitter's at TorJonesYT. You guys can tweet suggestions, DM me suggestions. I'm pretty open. Like I'm struggling just like you guys are. I want to give you guys Blazer content that you guys would enjoy. Maybe uplift your spirits, even if it's not like super optimistic. I don't know. I want to give you guys entertaining content that you guys enjoy. So just let me know, man. I'm just kind of like, this team has me a bit scramble brained in a way, if that makes sense. Like I'm just like almost kind of in shock at what's happening, so it's hard to even like keep track of like video ideas and stuff. I don't know.
Well, it's hard to put in the effort when the team you're following isn't seemingly putting in that same effort.
Yeah,
you know?
well, it's just like I like to have a certain level of energy like when I go into recording a video. Just so I have like, an energetic presentation. I haven't had that energy because I haven't been feeling good about this team, lately. It's hard to have that energy. I had that energy for the Carmelo Anthony breakdown. I got that out fast. It was a good video, I think.
Yeah.
But like, I don't feel like, I don't know. A lot of times I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna wait for the energy to come to me. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just like having a certain level of energy, and it's just not there, so it's hard to like sit down and like really grind out a video. And then at the same time, I'm like, are people really gonna want to care to watch this? Because they probably don't want to like, talk about the team right now. The team's doing horrible. So that's why I'm saying, whatever you guys want to watch, let me know.
Dude, let me get your thoughts on this. So before the season started, I mentioned this and you kind of poo-pooed it, but do you think there's anything to the fact that they felt like they arrived and thought it would be easy to get back there this year, and didn't really put in the work necessary to get back to that level.
I mean, Whiteside is who he's always been. Dame was better going into the season until we got ran into the ground. Maybe that was the case with CJ, but CJ has been better lately. He kind of broke out of his slump. I wouldn't say he's worse than last year. Simons is better. The thing is, like, Rodney Hood's better. Rodney Hood looks like he's been working on his game. He went to that Kobe camp, and like he's having a better performance. The thing is, individually, it's not like we're struggling individually, so to say, if that makes sense. We got guys playing like decent, Scow's made improvement, and he's looked solid this year. It's more just like the team construct, which maybe is like a focus thing. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's a focus thing, and they're not focused, locked in enough to improve these problems in like in terms of their team defense, in terms of the style of basketball they play. I don't know. The coaching staff just sucks. These are problems we've always seen. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now it's exacerbated because we don't have Nurkic, because we don't have, because we don't have Dame and CJ playing well at the same time. Like, it's problems that we've seen for years, man, and now it's worse.
Well, like a game like tonight, like
the other thing here. Let me just say this real quick because War of Mankind has a great point. There's two things that are really, really hurting us right now that have not hurt us in the past. Rebounding and defensive fouling, right? And those things don't really like jump out in terms of like looking at individual stats. So like you'll look at individual stats and you'll be like, why are we losing so many games? Like these guys' stat lines look good, but we're giving up a ton of offensive rebounds, and we're fouling like crazy. We're fouling more than any team in the league. So that's free throws are the most efficient shot outside wide open layups. We're giving up a ton of free throws, and we're giving up a ton of offensive rebounds, extra possessions. When we do get a stop, they're getting the ball back. And the thing is, tonight, let me go look it up, because both were a problem tonight. We give up 32 free throws. We only shot 16. We give up 26 points at the free throw line, and we got out rebounded 51-38. We gave up 8 offensive rebounds. There you go. Yeah, exactly. That seems low, but that's not low compared to average NBA teams. There you go. That's the two issues that we have not improved whatsoever. And there's, of course, there's a lot of other issues beyond that, but those are like the two like main issues that don't really jump out from the box score that have really been hurting us, losing us games. The thing is, even with those numbers, we still should have won this game by 20, given how bad Cleveland is. We just don't play a good brand of basketball. That's why we haven't had a night even close to shooting 50%, and I can't remember how long. You know what I mean? That's why we keep having inefficient nights. That's why we're near the bottom in field goal percentage. So that's. Yeah.
I just think so Connor McIntosh says, is there any players you think don't put in 100% every night? And I think most players try their best, but it's kind of obvious that this team thought they were going to blow the Cavs out tonight. And then during the game, they're like, oh, a run will come. We'll get it. We'll get him in the second half. We just got to make shots, like Stott said at halftime. But they're not playing good enough to just beat a bad team like that just because they're talented. So they gotta work harder at the little things, like we talked about earlier, like lack of communication on defense and not boxing out guys, and then the coaching mistakes with playing small lineups and the defensive rotations and all that stuff. All these things cannot happen if you're not that good of a team, or if you're not playing well, and if you don't have Dame and CJ going berserk, you're not going to win any of these games. So it's but that's the most frustrating part. People are like, well, this same coach got him to the Western Conference Finals. Well, yeah, when you have Dame and CJ on the team, you can win any game. You can win a series. Dame basically single-handedly won us the OKC series. Those guys can get hot and you can win games. It's not like he doesn't have talent. It's just, I don't know, the way he uses that talent is conducive to only reaching a certain level, and if that level isn't met, there's going to be problems.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Grant, this man Grantis Mantis says, Tori, it's funny that some of my boys actually deny that Stotts is the problem. I mean, you still got those Blazer fans out there. It's the Blazer fans that will literally never criticize Stotts. You know what I mean? There will always be an excuse. Always be an excuse. If we were healthy, it'd be chemistry. Since we're not healthy, it's injuries and chemistry. Now it's, Melo doesn't know the plays. You know, like they're always coming up with excuses because they don't, either they don't know how to see problems on the court that could be affected by coaching, or they don't want to criticize Stotts and they're too biased and they won't call out a bad coaching job when they see it. So there's a million issues. You know what I mean? The injuries are an issue. The injuries have hurt us. Lack of chemistry has hurt us. That's the thing. I'm not saying those things aren't issues, but I don't really acknowledge those because a lot of the Blazer fans that keep going on about that are using that to excuse Terry Stotts' horrible job of coaching this team. There's many issues. That's why you lose to a Cleveland Cavaliers team that was down 30 in their previous 5 games and on a second night of a back-to-back. It takes absolutely an absolute disaster to lose to this team, especially when they don't have Kevin Love. So it's not just Stotts, but it's not, I'm tired of the other issues being used to excuse Stotts, because Stotts is a major, major issue right now. His coaching is horrible right now. And
players yes, it's obvious that Collins was a huge losing him when you already were down Nurk. You couldn't afford to lose Collins too. And I think we'd be at least 500 right now, if not a little over 500 if we still had Collins. But I hope people see that those guys are masking the problems with the coaching, not an excuse for the coaching being bad, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Collins is quick enough and good enough defensively, and same with Nurk, to both sag off, recover fast enough, and either back to their guy or come up and contest the shot by the guard if they shoot a 15-footer or whatever. And one really Nurk hardly ever gets caught switching, if that makes sense. It happens every once in a while, but there's some bigs like Ed Davis or Tristan Thompson tonight. It seems like every time they're involved with a pick, they get picked or switched onto the guard, right? And then the guard attacks them. Nurk hardly ever switches. He always has a way of letting the guy getting screened fight through that pick and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it's little stuff like that makes such a huge difference when the defensive schemes are so crappy. And I just wish we had those guys, because this wouldn't be happening right now. But it also, I hope people can start seeing that it's not the injuries, it's the injuries are showing why the defensive system is bad, it's not bad because of the injuries. I know I'm not explaining that right, but it just needs to, Whiteside he was of the league in defensive rating last year. He's not a terrible defender. He's not as bad as he's shown this year. It's the scheme he's in. You need to curtail it around the strengths of your players, not try to conform bad defensive players into this. We don't really have much and people always say, well, that's what happens when you lose Aminu and Harkless too. But our defense wasn't good pre-Nurk when we had both Aminu and Harkless on that team. Yep.
I mean, it's just ridiculous how much we rely on. I don't know how we made the Western Conference Finals without Nurkic, because right now it's we need Nurkic to fix all these problems, and it's we still got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, right? We still got Rodney Hood balling out of his mind. Still have Hassan Whiteside, who's a good rim protector, good rebounder. Why? Well, we shouldn't have all these problems, man. And that's the thing people keep talking about. Oh, look who we're missing. We're missing Nurkic and Collins. Well, look at who we got. We still got a roster that shouldn't be anywhere close to this bad. So it's I'm frustrated. Just I don't know. I'm hoping to see a Woj tweet say the Portland Trailblazers have fired Terry Stotts.
It's not gonna happen.
I know, but like, let me imagine it just so I can be happy for a second, because that's yeah. On top of that, the changes, we're going to talk about this on our podcast. We're not going to talk about it right now, but the proposed changes the NBA wants to make to the in-season tournament and the whatever, like a lot of those changes that they're thinking of are dumb.
Yep.
The only change I like is the playing game. That's the only change I like. But we'll go into depth on that on our podcast. Yeah, so
We imagining Woj bombs now.
Yep, that's the point we're at. You should do low light vids. Nah, I can't do NBA footage. That's maybe ask True Blazer fan to do that, but he doesn't want to be. He's a guy who tries to stay positive as much as any other Blazer fan. I'm glad I have my own channel now, because I would not be able to make content like this at his channel. He would have hated it, because he's like one of those guys that tries to stay super positive and like supportive and no matter what, and which is fine, you know what I mean. But like I call it how it is, so that would have been an issue. Yeah.
Old Jacob says time to pick up J.R. Smith. Might as well throw him into the mix, right?
I mean, yeah, if we're trying to tank. If we're trying to tank, it makes sense, but yeah, I so
War of Mankind, I haven't drank alcohol in 4 years, and I swear I'll get drunk if Stotts gets fired.
For real, man, I'll throw a party. I'll throw a live stream party. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap up this post game show. Thank you to everybody who tuned in for this disaster. We'll have our podcast on Monday, and then we'll have the post game show for that Bulls game. Hopefully, that Bulls game goes better than this one. Because 5 and 13, 5 and 14, the records are starting to just kind of blend together. Like 5 and 12 sounds crummy. 5 and 13 sounds crummy. Like 6 and 12 sounds crummy. Like it's to the point where it's like it doesn't even make a difference now. Our record's just crap no matter what. But I don't know. Maybe they can win the next 3 games. Maybe they get Whiteside back. I don't know. With Whiteside tonight, I think we win this game, which kind of sucks, you know. Lots of problems with this game, but like that's the thing. With Whiteside, we should have beat this team by 30. Like without Whiteside, we should have beat this team by 20. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. It just sucks that Whiteside's been banged up all season, because that's a guy that we need. That's a guy who's been made too much of a scapegoat this season. A lot of the Blazer fans that defend Stotts just absolutely like blast Whiteside for stuff that's not his fault. And look at what happened tonight without Whiteside. Look at what we played Anthony Tolliver 30 minutes at center. Imagine those 30 minutes going to Whiteside. I'm just saying. So I don't know. I'll try and stay positive, I guess. I don't really know if I have it left in me.
Well, things to take is, the higher the pick we get, the better. And, Little looks like a competent NBA player. Simons looks like he's going to be eventually. He's already shown flashes that he is. Trent actually has given him some good minutes the last couple games. Hopefully he can continue that. Scals looked okay.
Honestly, this is how I'm going to try and approach it as a fan, which I normally wouldn't do. And it's kind of like how athletes approach it. I'm literally going to just try and take it game by game now. I've been looking ahead to like, our schedule lightens up. Look at our schedule here. No, I'm done looking at the schedule. I'm done, talking about our schedule lining up. I'm done talking about, okay, maybe we can win these games. I know I just said, maybe we can win the next 3 in a row because they're all winnable games. I'm not going to do that, okay? I'm going to flush this game tomorrow. I'll get you guys out that mailbag. I'm not going to, I'll respond to stuff that's happened in the past if I get asked about it, but I'm going to kind of like try and like throw away the first 17 games, focus on the game Monday to try and enjoy it. I think that's kind of how you have to enjoy this team. And if we play well, then dope. You know, we win that game. Okay, have a good post-game stream. Then it's on to the next game. We'll have like Trade Talk Tuesday, whatever. We'll get a Trade Talk video out. But then we'll be on to the next game and take it game by game. That's how you have to watch this team right now. Because that's the thing is I was super frustrated with this game because of how much I looked forward to, like, okay, after this Milwaukee Bucks game, our schedule lines up. We should be able to turn around. We have a game that we should win against the Cavs. I fully expected us to win this game. And that optimism really made this loss that much worse.
We got Dame coming back too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of reasons to be optimistic for this game, and then we lose it. So I'm done becoming super optimistic by looking too far ahead in the future. I'm literally just going to take this game by game, and we'll see what happens next with the Chicago Bulls. It's going to be a tough game, but hopefully we can get a win because hopefully this team can turn things around. But we're just going to take it game by game. I think that's how you have to approach it.
Yep. So, well, too, if they win 2 out of the next 3, I mean, they're on that 7-13 pace, right? That you talked about still being possible.
No, that was 7-10, between 7 and 10 and 8 and 9. So we're that was based on the team being as good as a 50-win team too. Right. That's also you gotta remember that. This team isn't as you know what I mean. Like this team, you can tell that this team is nowhere close to being a 50-win team in terms of the way they're playing, which. Maybe they can change, but I'm not looking. I'm not trying to rationalize like, okay, if we could just get 2 out of 3, if we could just win this game and then get to this easy part of the schedule and then take care of that, blah, blah. I'm done doing that because right now we suck. We could lose any game, so I'm just gonna take it game by game and see how things goes. I think that's how Blazer fans have to take it. You know what the worst part about it is all those people who are like, oh, this is a 39-win team or whatever in the offseason. Like, fuck those guys. They're already. I'm sorry. F those guys. It's all good. It's all good.
Those guys. Like, this team is not like. This team is not that bad. Like, that's so frustrating because they have talent to be back in the race for the playoffs like they were last year, and it's frustrating that everyone's going to be like, oh no, last year was just a fluke. They got lucky, and they're not going to give them any credit. So. Yeah. I'm gonna try and tune out that noise though, because that'll just make me even more frustrated. But anyway, we gonna wrap this up. My voice is kind of shot right now, and I'm just mentally spent at the moment. Thanks for letting me vent too, everyone. Yeah. So. Yeah, man. I mean, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we all feel better. I know you guys are you guys are diehards right here with me. That's why you guys are tuning in, so hopefully this turns around. Got to take it a game at a time. That's my lasting message for Blazer fans out there after this game. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for tuning in, and me and Eric, we'll catch you guys later. We'll have our podcast on Monday. Until then, peace out. Go Blazers.